Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about 5 mistakes you should avoid if you're involved in a car accident. Now, I know nobody likes being involved in a car accident. This is a follow-up to my previous video regarding the things you should do if you're involved in a car accident. Now, this is what not to do. And this kind of ties in with that, because sometimes people find the videos differently. So that's why this is a follow-up. So you're going to hear some similar, although not the same, things that you should avoid, okay? If you're new here, thank you for joining me. My name is Taylor Darcy from Think Legal, where I help people and businesses thrive. That's the purpose of these videos, to help you live a better life, to help you live a life that has is easier, better, whatever it may be, okay? So I do these videos. I do them live to get live questions. Feel free to join me. I come here at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, except for holidays and occasional day off and whatnot. But I'm generally here, so please come and join me. If you can't, and I totally understand that, make sure to leave a comment below asking questions, need clarification. That's what they're there for. I do my best to respond as quickly as possible, but I do have other things going on. So I get to them as on a first come, first served basis. And also, if it's something that is significant enough of a question, I may even do a video on that particular topic itself. So please join me. So let's get started, shall we? All right. So, first and foremost, people think that because it's a minor accident or a fender bender, as it may be, that they don't need to report it. And the logic is, well, it's not that much and it's not that big a damage and I don't have any injury, and I completely get that. The problem is, a lot of times when you're involved in an accident, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know the actual extent of the damage to your vehicle. You don't know the actual extent of damage to yourself. And so if you leave a scene without reporting it, it could be considered a hit and run. Number one, that's a big issue. And number two, it opens the door for insurance companies to deny claims, whether it be your own insurance company or whether it be the opposing party's insurance company, if you decide to report it later once you find out, oops, that the damage is worse than you thought it was going to be. And so by reporting it when you're at the scene, you're avoiding the issue of, well, it wasn't that bad, and the insurance company is going to say the same thing. So keep that in mind, that just because it looks light or easy doesn't mean that it actually is. You don't know until you get it properly evaluated from a mechanic or an auto body shop or whomever it is that fixes them. And the same thing goes for you as your physical body. So make sure that you're reporting it the moment that it happens. Or as soon as possible after it happens. Don't give up. Don't give it up just because you think it's okay. All right, so that's number one. Number two is people think, still, it's a fender bender. I don't need to do much for it. I'm going to skip calling the police. Well, that's a mistake, because when you skip calling the police, a lot of insurance companies will be like, well, you skipped calling the police. You need that neutral third party there, which police are, to typically get a claim started. Now, sometimes that's not true. It depends on the insurance company and the insurance agent and all that stuff. But it's important to get that police report as documentation for the anticipated claim that you're going to make with your insurance company. I have to say this because I say it every video involving any type of vehicle or insurance company. Insurance companies are not your friend. They can deny claims, or the size of the claim could exceed your policy. And then you run the risk of what happens then? How do you get made whole? How are your damages fixed? And if you don't, if you think your insurance company is your friend, you're in for a big, wide opening event, because a car accident is when their goal is to pay as little as possible in claims. That's their goal. That is the function of an insurance company, because the more they pay in claims, the less that they have to pay out for shareholders. And they are beholden to their shareholders. They're not beholden to you as their customer. And you're like, but that's wrong. And you're not wrong. It is wrong. But that's the world that we live in when it comes to for-profit insurance companies. Their goal is to avoid paying claims. So they will find any way possible to not pay a claim if they can avoid it. So anything you do that makes that easier for them, that they love it. They love it if you do things that make it easy for them not to pay that claim. All right. So that's number 2. Don't skip calling the police. Okay. Number 3, and this is very common. You admit fault or you apologize. Don't do that. As I spoke in yesterday's video, you don't know if you're at fault yet. There could be facts that you're not aware of that could be against you being at fault. But the moment you say it, you can't unring that bell. You can't walk it back and say, oh, never mind, that fact says that I'm not, because insurance companies and the other party are going to latch onto that and say, well, you already took fault for it. You already accepted blame. You're good. So you have to avoid, 1, accepting fault, and 2, apologizing. So don't say I'm sorry, okay? Just nothing. Nothing is better than something when it comes to any type of that. Can you admit fault later if necessary? Yes. You can always do that later, but you can't unring that bell. So when all of the investigation of the accident occurs, and if you are in fact liable because of the facts dictate that you are, and there's no dispute in that fact, in those, then you can admit you're liable. But if there's something external, and I used the analogy yesterday, or the discussion of, what if you're driving a Ford Explorer back when the tires were having issues, right? And that accident wasn't caused by your negligence. It was caused by the bad tire that Ford had done. Do you see what I'm saying? Same thing goes with like the Ford Pinto, the Toyota. I talked about these, but I want to reiterate them for people that didn't catch that video. So the idea being that there could be a third party or a third source of liability that negates your liability. But if you already say, oh, it's my fault, hi, I'm sorry, then you're going to likely impact that investigation poorly, okay? So that's number 3. Number 4, and this one is very common. Oh, it's just a fender bender. I don't need to go to the hospital, or I don't need to get checked out. Well, again, you don't know how bad you have it or don't have it, because a lot of injuries, not all of them, some of them are blatantly obvious. A lot of injuries are not. And if you don't go get checked out, if you skip the medical, you don't know if you're injured or not. And then when it comes time to get evaluated, say you go to the doctor a week later, well, all of a sudden, instead of it being real, the insurance company is going to question you and say, well, you were fine a week ago. What happened? And so it's going to cause that to come into question. The insurance company isn't going to like that. That may cause you to not get that part of your care done. So you really want to, as quickly as possible, go to the emergency room, schedule an appointment with your doctor, go to an urgent care, go somewhere to get it documented, your injuries, just to get checked out. There's nothing wrong with that, because that shows that you're diligent, you're paying attention to your body, and insurance companies can't refute that as easily as they can if they say, if you wait a week or 2 weeks or months or whatever, and then say, oh, I think it was because of the car accident I was in. Well, it looks really bad if you're waiting a long period of time. I'm not suggesting, and please do not mix this up, I'm not suggesting to fake any type of injury. Do not mistake that. Go get checked out. Listen to the medical care. The doctor is going to want it doing. Don't fake an injury just because you're in an accident. Okay, please. The insurance rates are high enough. Attorneys get bad enough raps for being all sorts of things, but do not fake injuries. Do not look at it as a possible payday. That is not the purpose. That is abusing the system. That's not what you should do. Please don't do that, because then that casts doubt on the legitimate people that were injured in car accidents and need treatment. Then you made it harder for them just for an easy payday. So if you're not, but go get checked out, get that verification, get the support that comes with medical care if you in fact need it. All right, so that was number 4. Okay, number 4. Number 5, and this one is we live in a social media bonanza, okay? And I get a lot of people like to share every little thing about their life with the people in their circles. Here's the problem, though. When you share on social media, you are bringing others into this problem, which could make it worse, because you probably aren't going to say the right things. When in doubt, don't talk. So the 5th mistake is posting on social media. Don't post, okay? Just leave it alone, okay? Until there's a resolution. If you want to post after everything's taken care of, after you've gotten the compensation you deserve, then you can post. But you don't need to give this extra help to either the insurance company or, in a lot of cases, opposing counsel. You want to avoid that by not posting on social media. That just gives them ammunition, right? Because whether you think your profile is locked or not, unfortunately, people have been known to do deceptive things to get into that. And so you're giving them ammunition too easily, too readily, and without any real reason to. So don't fall into that. Don't post on social media until it's resolved, and then you can tell your story after everything's settled and you're taken care of and fixed and all that stuff. And just trust me, it's better to share later than it is to share before and have it negatively impact you. All right, well, that is number 5, and I promised you number 5. I'm going to give you a bonus tip. And this one is probably not the best one. I'm not going to say that. I'm not saying this is the best one, but this is one of those ones that can have a pretty significant impact on your case, and that is not documenting the scene. We went over this in my video before yesterday, previously, about how to document everything that happened, what to document. So I'm not going to repeat all of those things, but you want to document the heck out of the scene. Everything you can think of, pictures, everything you can do to make sure that it is documented properly. And if you call a police officer, they will give you an accident report. They'll take measurements. They'll do things that will show things that you can't do and don't know. I have a friend that's a deputy sheriff who does motor vehicle accident reconstruction, okay? And part of that is getting the stuff set up to begin with, right? And so by having them called, but also doing your own part of it, because there's always that possibility that evidence could get lost from somebody else. So if you take your own pictures and in your own way and keep them separate, put them, download them to a flash drive, upload them to the cloud, put them in places that can be protected so that you are not risking them getting lost or getting deleted. Make backup copies if you need to, whatever you need to do to protect those. Because while they may not hold the key to the accident, the truth is that until you're done with the accident, having that evidence can only help you. You can't go back in time and fix it and get that evidence back once it's gone. And that's why you shouldn't leave the scene until everything's taken care of as much as humanly possible. Is it possible you'll still miss something? Yes. Will you miss less? That's correct. That's the idea. So you want to avoid not capturing the scene. So you should always take pictures, video if you can, get witness information, the height, weight, and description, physical description of the person that was in the accident with you, or people in some instances. But the overall goal is that you want to make sure that you're not leaving anything out there at the accident scene that could be used later for your benefit. Because again, you can't go back in time and fix it. You can't go back in time and recreate the accident perfectly, because those conditions could be a factor in how the accident occurred. So that's it. Those are the 5 mistakes, and the 6th bonus mistake. Please take care of yourself. That's the most important thing, no matter what. All of these things will make your life better and easier if you're involved in an accident. But most importantly, take care of yourself. Take care of your family. You do what you need to do. All right? If you've gotten value out of this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and like, and join me live. I'd love to have you on here answering questions. I look forward to it. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you so much. Oh, don't forget that's a new subscribe button. Cool, right? Bye.